put them pages in my pants sometimes. I'm lonely.
Put what in your pants?
Put those little pages in my pants.
Well, if they don't vibrate.
Yeah, a little buzzer, yeah.
I bet you do. So
Leave my name multiple times.
Yeah. Your table's ready, sir. Your table's been ready, sir.
Oh, yeah, I'll be there in a minute.
Sure, give me a second here.
All right, let's begin this edition of the Best of Imus.
Ladies and gentlemen, Imus in the morning.
Screwed up with my headphones.
Okay.
One of them is not.
That's the problem is. So, I didn't know until I watched the TiVo of the program yesterday that every time I say they censor it on television. Did you? So, were you aware of that?
Did you know this, Tony?
No, I'm sorry to hear that.
Jerry Jones? You mean?
Yeah, every time I say it, why they censor it.
So this is being censored.
And because now there's some things that they don't want me to say on television. Like I got a memo yesterday about something that Bernie was saying that I happen to agree with him about. Did you get that, Bernie?
I'll have to check.
Well, you know what I'm talking about, don't you?
Yes, when I read the Onion piece yesterday, there was a word
Right.
in there.
Well, yeah, okay, so we don't need to do that.
Right.
Well, I'm not going to stop saying that.
No, never.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Well, where are we going to go, Jerry?
We're going to go to the titty ball. So,
Thanks, Warner.
I had to remind Fox that they're simulcasting my radio program. If they don't want to do that, stop doing it. I mean, hello?
Yeah.
Well, I'm very reasonable. I'm easy to work with. I'm one of the easier. People are always surprised, but I'm very easy to work with. But, I mean, let's not get ridiculous about it.
Yeah.
So, you got a lot more things offensive on your Fox Business Network than me saying that, by the way.
Saying what?
Well, just start at 9:20.
Why do you got to be like that?
Well, no, but I mean, Lori Rothman's coming up with a report on the Eagles concert.
Oh.
Which I'm anxious to hear. So, I wonder if Don Henley or Glenn Fry, if they talk to the audience. You know how they do, some of these people?
Do they ever stop talking? No. So I'm sure they talk to the audience, too.
Right. Because as much as I love Don Henley singing, and I like Glenn Fry, too. But if you see the history of the Eagles, the documentary, I mean, they're the two most obnoxious, paranoid, what are they both angry about? Do you have any idea?
Never satisfied.
I mean, if you're Glenn Fry...
Glenn Fry rhymes with stick. And I've witnessed that, experienced it firsthand.
Here we go.
Well, no, we don't want to go down that road. That's what I agree with.
Kevin, listen up. Memo.
So Glenn Fry's a jerk?
Oh, yeah, huge jerk.
Something like that.
Referred to me as the help once.
Oh.
Well, what were you doing?
Waiting on him on a golf course.
You're helping.
Yeah. We just don't pay the help enough around here. That's what he said to me.
Well,
That's funny, actually.
were you the help?
But you
I
think,
guess I was.
Well, then, okay.
there it is.
If he knew where Dagan was right now talking, that would be pretty funny.
That would be funny,
It
yes.
would be funny if he ran into Dagan right now.
Well, anyway.
The help.
The hell? Hey, you've done well there.
Well, some of them forget where they came from, so.
Yeah.
And now, the woman I had on yesterday from Jones Legacy, Roxanne, she said Joe Walsh. Well, we know Joe Walsh. First of all, Joe Walsh wouldn't say that. That's one. And he's one of the cooler people on the planet, Joe Walsh.
Oh, yeah.
Well, so we know he's good. Anyway, so we'll find out from Lori what's going on. She and her little tiny husband went to see this.
Cute little husband, yeah.
Yeah.
That'll be nice.
And then the Blonde on Blonde's coming up this morning. Megan McDowell's in for Lisa Wheel, and I don't know whether last time I saw Megan, she had black hair, right, Tony? So
Yeah, well, blondes have more fun.
okay, so maybe she dyed her hair
Let's hope, yeah.
to just so our premise holds up.
Mm-hmm.
So they're coming up, and we have some good topics for them. And then we'll talk with Juan Williams. I was watching Megyn Kelly last night, and she had on James Carville, who I love to death. So she says to Carville, what do you think the significance is Bill Clinton throwing President Obama under the bus on this, suggesting that he should keep his promise on the people who lost their health care.
Right, right.
And Carville said, well, it's not that many people.
Oh, well.
Well, that's not the point. I wasn't, and they couldn't ever get past that, either one of them.
They're having like two different conversations almost, a different argument.
She was great with him. He's tough, you know. She held her own, so, but he wasn't going to acknowledge what she meant, and she should have, I don't know if she should have. Well, if I understood what she meant, then he did.
Right, so that's not the point.
Yeah, it's not the point. So.
No, it really isn't the point.
But he wasn't cooperating with her. So.
Oh, man.
But at any rate, I love when Bill Clinton does this. Don't you, Bernie?
Yeah, oh yeah.
This was something else.
Bill Clinton being Bill Clinton.
Yeah, just.
So, yeah, I'm just looking ahead for my wife.
Yeah, so that's just.
We got.
Yeah.
So Barack is under the bus.
Yeah.
Gonna run for president, man.
Deep under the bus.
Yeah, so.
They didn't even beep. That's how fast they got thrown out there. Bus didn't have a chance to beep. That's how fast he got out there.
Well, you have dyed your hair.
Yes, I have, honey.
Hey, Megan.
Oh, you're going to be great today.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Shame about Lisa's kneecap, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I'll be darned.
Morning, sir.
Morning, Megan.
How are you?
I'm fine.
How's your back? How's your throat? How's your leg? How's your cancer? How's all that?
Everything seems to be okay.
Awesome.
Hey, Trevor, when you get a chance, we need to look at my left ear monitor.
Well, could have been anything there.
Well, there's something in it. I don't know what it is.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
That could have been anything.
What's coming up in business, Megan?
Holding his breath.
You say hi to your sister?
Hi, Megan.
Hi, y'all.
You guys all getting together for Thanksgiving?
Huh?
What? Do you go to Dagan's house for Thanksgiving?
No, because her husband can't keep his hands off me. Rollo felt me up under the table a couple of years ago.
He did?
Found a canned ham.
Hey, what?
You found a canned ham. She's an awful cook. I come prepared.
We were trying to smuggle food out of the house, by the way. That's why we were giving you the rundown.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what's coming up? A record was set for a painting sold at auction last night.
Oh, I always love when this happens.
No, it is an amazing work of art.
Oh, okay. Barney, what do you have?
Bruce Jenner's face, Mike Ditka on the Dolphins, and awkwardness with Mike Tyson on The View.
Great.
Had some great college basketball games last night, Warner. I was watching Kansas, not Kansas, but
Michigan State.
Yeah.
Michigan State and Kentucky.
Right.
Kentucky #1, Michigan State #2.
Yeah.
Oh, who won that?
Michigan State.
Oh, wow.
And you said Kansas. Yes. And Kansas beat #4 Duke.
Oh, they did?
Yes. So already, not even 1 week is over. The preseason polls, #1 Kentucky loses and #4 Duke loses.
Man, excitement already.
Yeah.
Now, Connell was trying to explain to me about this great player from Kansas versus
Oh, yeah, Wiggins.
And then Jabari, what's the guy's name from Duke?
Jabari Parker.
Yeah.
I love that name, Jabari.
Yeah.
They'll be 1-2 in the draft,
Yeah,
most
he was
likely.
awesome.
Yeah.
So,
They were both unbelievable last night.
are they? Who's that talking? Bigfoot?
Yes, sir.
Well, how are you, Bigfoot?
I am doing quite well. Just
Oh, man.
Oh, well done, I-Man.
Wow.
Did you miss that, or you did?
Look at Tom.
what'd you say?
I can't believe they object to that. That's crazy.
Tom.
I mean, I certain things like. Well,
That was a good game last night.
13 after the hour. All right.
God was speaking right there.
Lori Rothman is coming up with some eaglese on your Heartbreak Radio.
Your left what?
And along with Megan McDowell, we're appearing with, and for Lisa this morning, appearing with Dean Rimus. Megan has some thoughts on Mayor Ford up there in Toronto. What?
He is F-I-N-E dreamy.
You know what I'm wondering is, I was thinking about this last night, how did he ever get elected?
Right.
Well, they like him up there, actually.
He's more popular now than ever.
And he's he apparently has done a good job as far as the voters,
Sure.
the residents of Toronto. So despite his Chris Farley looks, He's actually a good city manager.
Oh, he is. Because the boss seemed insane to me.
Yeah.
When he's paying
Had
attention.
Anthony Weiner get elected to Congress, I'd rather party with Rob Ford than that Weiner head, right?
We didn't know about a lot of that
Right.
stuff.
It's
Well, it'd be fine, Dagan. We'll see if we can't arrange that for you. Let's do some news now because it's 15 minutes past the hour. Good morning, Connell.
Good morning, I'm Well, you
Hey,
meant
Trevor.
on health care, the question now is, will they make any changes to the law after these Bill Clinton comments from yesterday, saying the president, as the IMEN said, should honor the commitment he's made to the people, and they like their health insurance, they could keep it. And President Clinton went on to say the government's been through a problematic rollout of a big health care program before.
It happened when President Bush put in the Medicare drug program for seniors, which was not as complicated, but had exactly the same problem with the rollout. It was a disaster. There were people who even lost their prescriptions for their existing medicine, and they fixed it.
They fixed it, which is what the former president thinks they should do this time around as well. And in the middle of all this, the current president, President Obama, his approval ratings hit yet another all-time low. He's at 39% approval in the latest Quinnipiac poll. Sentencing hearing begins today for Whitey Bulger, Boston mobster found guilty of 11 murders, 31 racketeering counts, 84 years old. The interesting thing, I guess, about it is the judge has been considering a request to let all the families of the victims at the sentencing speak, even ones of alleged crimes in which Bulger was not found guilty. They would maybe be allowed to speak. That's being considered. Caroline Kennedy sworn in, new U.S. ambassador to Japan, leaves for Japan tomorrow.
I want to thank Ambassador Sasai for welcoming us here, and we just had a tea ceremony, which was a wonderful introduction to the Japanese culture, and my husband and I and our children are so excited to be going to Japan on Thursday.
There you go, Caroline.
We have the... Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, that was it.
No, I just like to hear Caroline. We have the best people at Fox. I've said this from the day we walked in the door, which is 4 or 5 years ago, whenever it was. The best people, period.
Yeah.
And we worked everywhere. If I'd have had problems with my headphones at NBC or at FAN, I want to be fair here. It would have taken at least a month to get it fixed.
A month.
They would have, wasn't it?
Memos, the emails.
I mean, I'm not exaggerating. Trevor fixed it in 5 seconds.
He's a genius, that Trevor.
Well, no, but it's the people's in this building. It's their willingness to do things right.
That's right.
And I'm telling you, you can walk around this building and it's just pristine and oh man, I mean, from the front door in.
It's a well-run place. You're right.
Oh God, come on here.
By the way, was it just earwax in your headphone? Was that the problem again, or?
Well, that's between me and Kevin. I mean, Trevor.
Trevor, just wondering.
Left earwax, left.
Does that happen sometimes,
Well, I was thinking about Kevin because he runs the business thing, so.
Well, yeah, runs it well.
Starts with him and Roger.
Yep, of course.
All right, what were you saying now about Caroline Kennedy?
I just headed to Japan tomorrow. She was confirmed U.S. ambassador to Japan. So those are the big news stories. We'll talk about some more later on.
All right, how about some business news? And here with that is Dagan McDowell. Good morning, Dagan.
Good morning, sir. The Dow yesterday pulled back slightly from its latest record, falling 32 points, but a big record set in the art world last night. A painting by the late Francis Bacon sold for $142.4 million at Christie's, making it the most expensive artwork ever sold at auction. The painting, you can see it on the Fox Business Network, is a triptych, a 3-part painting of Bacon's friend and rival Lucian Freud. There were 7 super rich bidders. We don't know who the winner was. The prior record was set by Edvard Munch's The Scream for almost $120 million not long ago.
It's 18 after the hour.
It's big, too, so you're getting a lot for your money.
This portion of the Imus Wayne program is sponsored by Cars for Kids. That's Cars with a K. Donate your car today to one of these. Well, you're not actually giving a car to the kid. I mean, I had to have
somebody.
Bernard explain that to me, or Lou, or somebody. Now, this next portion of the program is sponsored by the Hackensack University Medical Center, a place where medicine meets innovation. So it's time for sports, and sports is sponsored by, and let me just see here. Just hang on.
Yeah.
Get hysterical.
Okay.
I don't know who it's sponsored by. Usually it's sponsored by Peerless Boilers. Let's just assume, we shouldn't assume anything, but we are going to, that it's sponsored by them this time. And if it isn't, we're going to give it to them anyway because they've been so loyal all of these years. Hi, good morning, Warner.
Good morning, man. Not so fast. Dolphins owner Stephen Ross. The NFL has stepped in, and they will meet with Jonathan Martin first here in New York on Friday. Man, what a media zoo that will be. College basketball last night. Number 2 Michigan State beats Kentucky, who had been number 1 for less than a week, 78-74. But listen now. Here was an optimistic Kentucky coach, John Calipari, before the game.
Right now, this team I'm coaching, we have no chance to beat a good team. We don't play hard enough. We don't have enough fight. We give up on rebounds and possessions, and we're not playing as a unit.
Oh, that's great. Thanks, Coach. And Kansas beat Duke.
Sounds like me talking to Rob and Tony.
Kansas beats Duke 94-83, and number 3 Louisville beat Hofstra. In the NBA,
I actually kind of like college basketball. Don't you, Warner, or not?
Yeah, it's okay. Let's go to the finals already. It's give me.
Why is it every morning you have to rain on my parade? I just don't get it.
Well, you asked me.
I know that was a mistake I made. Hey, this portion of the program is sponsored by Path Medical, where you get the head-to-toe checkup that adds quality years to your life. Call them at 1-888-304-PATH, P-A-T-H. Warner continues.
In the NBA, the Mavericks won last night, and Dirk Nowitzki passed Jerry West as the 16th all-time leading scorer. But, of course, when West played, there were no three-pointers.
It's really great how they had all those hit records. You know, all you ever do is bring me down and all that stuff. And then they're going on that Sandy Beaches cruise, the Mavericks, and also got a pretty spiffy basketball team.
Yeah, on the side.
Yeah.
College football last night, Bowling Green beat Ohio 45-3. And Toledo jumped out to a 38-0 lead and beat Buffalo 51-41. Of course, unfair for Toledo to have to play an NFL team like the Bills.
Got it.
And no surprise, the National League Manager of the Year is the Pirates' Clint Hurdle.
Yeah.
Took the Pirates to 94 wins.
We know what he did.
Right. But in the American League, instead of the Red Sox' John Farrell, he loses out to your friend Terry Francona.
All right, Terry.
Oh, man. I mean, gosh. I mean, Francona did a good job, but Farrell took a team in 93 losses to 97 wins in the World Series.
Yeah.
And, talk about a surprise. A married woman in Kansas City has offered her $3,100 diamond wedding ring for 2 tickets for December 1st Chiefs-Broncos game in Kansas City, lower or club-level tickets. She wants to do it so she can surprise her husband on his 40th birthday.
I got a email from Guns this morning that he thinks they found Carly's boyfriend slumped over the wheel of his car in a gas station in Michigan. What were the details, Guns?
Dearborn police at 2:30 a.m. responded to a call about a man asleep in his car at a gas station, unconscious for 90 minutes, urinated on himself.
Oh.
He was arrested and told officers he had no choice but to drink himself into oblivion after Michigan's loss.
Oh.
When Michigan lost to Michigan State, right?
Right, yeah. So
he was so humiliated. And, of course, then they turn around and lose to Nebraska the next week. We're talking about your boyfriend, Pete, Carly.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, welcome back.
Found him. Does he have a car there in
No, he doesn't. So that couldn't have possibly been him.
Never say
he
never.
borrowed a car, rented one.
If I were Guns, though, I wouldn't be making fun of somebody that's about 275 pounds of muscle.
Oh.
Wow. Fighting words.
Just saying.
What about when he slumped over, though? What's he going to do?
I don't know. If I were Guns, I wouldn't be worried about a guy who says, I'm in a bad place now.
Exactly.
Just between you and me. 23 after the hour. All right. Bernie, what's coming up in a briefing?
Mike Ditka and Mike Tyson.
Okay, 23 after the hour. Well, My Pillow is back with another life-changing product that you know how great the pillows are. You know, over 1 million people who listen or watch the Imus in the Morning program have bought a My Pillow. So, and now you're thinking, well, they probably exhausted that, so now they're going to come up with a new product. Actually, this new mattress topper is as revolutionary and will have as great an impact on your sleep as the pillow, because You know how your mattress gets all soggy, and if not soggy, it gets it lacks support, makes you struggle to get comfortable. Sometimes it's too hot or it's too cold, lumpy in certain places where you don't want it to be, or if nothing else, it has those big unsightly stains on it, like Megan's. But at any rate, get you a MyPillow mattress topper to start sleeping all night long. So go to MyPillow.com, type in the code word Imus, get free shipping on your mattress topper. And of course, there's a money-back guarantee and all that stuff.
You know, it's all about you. As long as you're fine, it really doesn't matter, does it?
Well, by the way, isn't that the case with everybody?
Don King called. He wants his hair back.
Just 21 for the you look like you've been electrocuted. Really do. Wow. Who told you that was a good idea?
Your beautiful, lovely wife.
Is that you told him that was a...
Well, I didn't style it for him, but it looks better off his face, and he's cute. I mean, he looks like, one of the Backstreet Boys or something, right?
It's 21 till the hour.
That's all I need in my life.
That's a compliment?
Gives him an extra inch, and we all could use that, right?
I don't know. So some thoughts on apparently the mayor of Toronto. Good morning, Megan.
Morning, sir. I'll tell you what, that Toronto mayor is H-O-T adorable. I love me a big old delusional alcoholic drug addict with anger issues. Make me feel alive. You know what the best part of fat, drunk, crack-smoking guys is? The lowered standards. On a scale of 10, I'm barely a 2, but to Mayor Ford, I'm a 8. 8.5 if I get to him later in the evening. It'd be my honor to do his honor. We look like two big old balls banging against each other on one of them Newton's Cradle kinetic energy deals. Jupiter's got 67 moons. I'll tell you what, I'll make it 69. I got two I'm itching to orbit around you right now, you big dumb crackhead Canuck. We could play SeaWorld. I'll be Shamu. You can throw fish at me till I free Willy. Or Carnival, I'll sit on your face and you can guess my weight.
Oh, no.
If I don't smother you first. Because I'll be honest, that has happened a couple of times. I get all wrapped up in the moment, and unless the safe word is it tends to go awry.
Stop him.
Have I driven a Ford lately? But I'm fixing to. Come on, Robbie boy, I got some crack for you. 2 of them, take your pick. Smoke them if you got them, that's my motto. I got a 6-pack of Old English 40s, a couple of rocks of Charlie C, and a pork roast with your name on it. Call me.
Oh, God, you're an idiot. 33 after the hour. Time for a birdie briefing.
Brown sugar, how come you look so fine?
And Birdie's briefing is sponsored by Short Hills Aviation. Good morning, Bernard.
Good morning, Chief. Yesterday on The View, Mike Tyson appeared, and it was somewhat awkward. Jenny McCarthy asked him about all the sex with prostitutes and the diseases he might have had. Take a listen.
And you talked about how you slept with so many prostitutes and strippers that at one point you thought you were infected with AIDS, and you actually told your second wife that. Why didn't you stop that behavior?
Because it felt good. It really felt good.
That's it? No other explanation?
Oh, Tyson.
And then she asked him about sex in prison, and that got very awkward. Listen to Whoopi Goldberg sort of come to his defense as he tried to answer this question about sex in prison.
You said you had so much sex in prison you were exhausted all the time.
Well, how did that happen? I mean, I'm curious. Well, I had a counselor in there. There was a lady counselor, and
Yeah, it's there if you want it.
Yeah.
A lady counselor, sure. That accounted for all the sex in prison.
What did Whoopi say?
She said it's there if you want it, sex in prison. And that sort of ended the discussion about sex in the joint. And I'm finished. We're very late, boss. We better get to Juan Williams here.
Oh, it's not Juan Williams, it's Lori Rothman.
I mean, excuse me, Lori Rothman.
Well, she's coming up. So. Deidre Imus and Megan McDowell. And then later on this morning, Juan Williams in there making excuses for Barack Obama, trying to cover up all that stuff.
Right.
Please welcome now to the Imus Morning program from the Fox Business Network, Lori Rothman. Good morning, Ms. Rothman.
Good morning, Iman.
How are you?
I'm wonderful.
So Lori brought me an Eagles T-shirt, and she said maybe I should give it to you now because I didn't get everybody else one.
Right.
And so they'll all feel bad, and I want them to feel bad.
Well, there you go. You just outed me.
So-
we haven't even gotten started.
So since you were on, Melissa Francis was here,
Oh, yeah?
and we cross-questioned.
I missed that one.
Yeah, well, I don't think she was happy because did you?
I actually didn't think it was as bad as you thought in terms of her reaction, but yeah, maybe it was a little.
Didn't you tell me, Bigfoot, that she was not that thrilled, or?
No, she sent. I emailed her afterwards, and she seemed fine. But now, whenever I see her in the hallway, she sort of avoids me. So
I'll put her on the list with other people that Tom don't talk to.
Because we had a number of these questions we wanted to ask, which I asked, and.
Was this a second appearance after the appearance where you really asked her deep questions about her father and where her father was during this whole episode with her mother?
It was that appearance.
Oh, it was that appearance. We actually discussed this.
Oh, we did?
Yeah, and you asked me, well, what do you think was the story with her father? And I said to you, well, gosh, we grew up in the same town nearly, and my dad was at work all day, and it was just customary that mom drove you to school, drove you to extracurricular activities, et cetera, and that was just the way it was. It's changed a lot more stay-at-home dads these days because of the economy and changing times, I suppose, but that was the story. So I think you were concerned that you felt badly for asking her questions about particularly her father. And I was trying to reassure you that if she's going to write a book and put it out there, then she should expect questions about that, difficult questions.
That's right. We did have some. Man, it was weird how. I can't remember who was on the show yesterday, let alone what conversation.
Well, that explains why I'm back in 2 weeks. I was so flattered to get another
No, we love you. So. And you're back because of the Eagles concert.
It was great.
We're going to get to in a second here. Yeah. But back to Melissa, I wasn't interested in making her feel bad. I mean, she's not a bad person at all.
No, she's fantastic, and she's super smart, and I'm impressed every time I see her on TV. And when I do see her in the hallways, sorry, Tom, but she doesn't ignore me. We always get a giggle in here and there. But I think it takes a lot of skill and a lot of comfort within your own being to be able to be who you are on TV and off TV, and then write a book exposing your whole, unseemly childhood. So give her a lot of credit for that. So
I did offer the opinion that I thought, without being asked, of course, but that she had thrown her mother under the bus, and I didn't think it was enough.
Well, her mother, forgive me, threw her down the stairs. You got to read the book, Iman. I mean, some of the stuff is absolutely, horrifying.
Yeah.
I mean, crosses the line. It was mental, physical abuse that she endured.
So, and she did point out a couple of things to me. So now I feel, how do I feel? Well, I should have read the book.
You should have read the book, but, you're doing a great job as the interviewer because a ton of people read this book. I think she put it out there, but there were more questions to be answered, and I think that you went there. So I think it's all good. All's fair in love and war.
So Lori Rothman and her husband went to see the Eagles at Madison.
My little tiny husband, as I heard you refer to him as.
Yeah, at Madison Square Garden. How were your seats?
They were good. We were center stage, but not in the pit. In the stadium seating, kind of up a little bit. Right. So we were, further back. But you could see, and really what was most important, hear everything. Right. Because let's face it, there's not a lot to see with this gang. So. Right.
They just kind of, like Don Haley one time said they were accused of loitering on stage. So how was the concert?
The concert was, well, let me just preface it with this. So I was so thrilled just to have a night out with the little tiny hubby. I mean, we really, with the kids, with the careers. So my bar was pretty low. I was just, as I said, they could have gotten on stage, strummed their guitars, and gone through Hotel California and peacefully, and I would have been totally satisfied. Sure. But it was phenomenal. They're timeless. It was intimate. It was produced in a similar fashion to the way the documentary was put together. It was a story. It started from their origins, and it began with Glenn Frey and Don Henley on stage together doing a duet Saturday night, one of their earlier songs. Right. And they weaved together the story of their band, and they introduced the members as they joined, including Bernie Ledden, who was the original guitar player, who came with them or was referred to them by
wasn't Bernie Ledden a bass player?
Linda Rodenstadt. He's a guitar player and a banjo player.
Oh, okay.
And he was with them in the early days, but they kind of unceremoniously got rid of him because he wasn't stepping it up enough. He wasn't rocking it. But he returned for the first time in, from what I understand, many, many years, and played those early songs. And it was really touching. And then they brought in Joe Walsh, and he did his guitar thing. And let me tell you, as the concert went on, Joe Walsh stole the show.
Oh, yeah,
he is hands down. I always loved Don Henley and Glenn Frey, even though Glenn Frey's a jerk, and I heard Dagan's comments, which were shocking but not surprising. And I will say this. Glenn Frey was very self-deprecating, and the other band members were teasing him about how funny, his jokes are, and it was endearing a little bit. But boy, I mean,
how was Henley?
Henley sounded fantastic. Got better as the night wore on.
I love Henley.
They had his drum kit kind of positioned closer to the front of the stage, so you could really see him in action.
Right. He seems tortured, though, doesn't he?
You think so?
I don't know.
I think. We weren't right on top of them, but we were close enough to where you could see the eye contact and the communication going on. And they were tight. I mean, they definitely have a chemistry going on there.
Oh, they're great. I mean, I love them.
They were happy to be there, and they appreciated the opportunity. I mean, the garden was sold out.
So they talk a lot to the audience?
They all did. Joe Walsh, Timothy B. Schmidt, the bass player, they all took turns. Of course, Glenn Frey did most of the speaking. He was the MC, so to speak. But they all kind of took turns talking about their background and the inspiration for the particular songs. And as I said, their voices, their musicianship improved as the hours went on. And they took one intermission, and it was like over 2 hours of music.
Did they bring on Don Felder?
No, and they didn't play Victim of Love or any of the Don Felder songs.
Right.
They had a lot of session musicians playing with them. They had 3 or 4 other guys because I guess they needed the other guitar on Hotel California.
So they hate Don Felder, don't they?
Well, isn't he suing them? What's the deal?
Well,
There's a lot of legal stuff going on.
He did this book about him, which I thought was cheesy.
Oh.
And he was I hate to use this word. I thought he was ungrateful.
I could see
shut up. You can't sing. He was a good guitar player. I'm talking about Don Felder. He couldn't sing.
That was one of the highlights, I think, of the documentary, where they had to kind of sneak him off to dinner, the manager, so that Don Henley could go in and record Victim of Love.
I mean, one of the great voices ever is Don Henley. Come
Absolutely.
on. I mean, come on.
Absolutely.
And I actually like Glenn Frey, and I love Joe Walsh.
Oh,
so.
I can't. He had with the Peter Frampton, is it a voice box? What is that tool called where you blow into the guitar? He did.
Talk box.
What?
It's a talk box.
A talk box, thank you, sorry. And it was amazing. I've never seen that live.
Oh.
I've never seen that performed live.
Well, so it was a great evening for you and your hubby.
Yeah, it was.
And you got to see the Eagle.
And I'm thrilled to get to talk about it. What a nice invitation. Thank you.
Thank you for the T-shirt. And,
of course.
Say hi to Melissa if you see her and tell her am I sorry? No, I'm not sorry, but my intention was not
just
to
keep talking to her,
was not to make her feel bad.
With all of, we're working moms. You just ask us about our kids.
Some people I like to make feel bad, and I go out and I do.
Yep.
But she's not one of them.
Noted.
Well, thank you very much, Lori.
Thank you, sir.
Lori Rothman, Fox Business, a little eaglese on the Heartbreak radio station. 11 minutes till the hour now. Megan McDowell, and we have some interesting topics for them, and they will debate the issues. You've met Deirdre, haven't you, Megan?
No, I haven't. I've only seen her in 15-minute spurts.
15-minute spurts?
Oh, 15-second spurts. I'm sorry.
Why just that long?
Because she comes on the TV, I cut it off.
5 minutes till the hour.
Imus in the morning.
It's very hurtful.
Sorry.
Oh. Lori's cute, isn't she?
She's adorable.
Great sense of humor. And knows what's going on. Got the business thing down. What doesn't the girl do?
Get stuff on the top shelf.
Huh?
I said, get stuff on the top shelf. It's the only thing she can't do.
Well,
other than that, winner.
She'd get somebody to get it for her.
Yeah, no, a lot of people get it for her.
Let me get that for you, baby. I'm always, when you see people on television, even though I'm on television,
right,
and have been for 20 years, you still see people, and you tend to think of them as being one-dimensional, but they never are. And you're always surprised how, you know.
It's like seeing your teacher in the grocery store.
That's right.
You ever see like a teacher, like, somebody, your teacher in the grocery store, and you go, wow,
Yeah,
you shop for groceries. You're always stunned to see somebody doing something else.
The kids don't think they have a real life.
Yeah.
Good example, Tony.
Yeah, that's great. Well, Doris Kearns Goodman shopping for, over there at the produce section.
That's right.
Looking at the cucumber.
Imus in the morning.
Well, coming up here in just a little bit, Megan McDowell in Felice Wheel is going to fill in and debate the issues with Deirdre Imus. So that's all just ahead. And you all excited about that, Megan?
Oh, yeah, real excited. Poor old Lisa's kneecaps ain't healed yet.
And you're up to speed on all of the current events and all that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, more so than Deirdre. She gets her current events from listening to Mark Levin.
Okay, well, whatever. So, so that's coming up. And maybe even some amusing stuff as well. Dagan, what do you have? Did you say hi to your sister?
Yes, I said hello.
You don't
But I won't touch her because you don't know where she's been.
You two don't seem like you're all that friendly.
We're not that close.
Right.
She's jealous of me.
Jealous of what?
I have a bust. Your bust is busted.
Yeah, but too bad you can't differentiate between your bust and your gut.
Yeah.
So it's just one big mass.
Well, the difference is they don't suck on my gut, girl, okay?
No. What? We don't need to go there.
Go where?
Downtown.
Yeah, I found out that the TV portion of the Imus Morning program, every time they censor it.
Oh,
wait, like
That's
4
for
months.
them, it's absurd, isn't it?
Well, where are we going to go, Jerry?
And then after that, we're going to go.
That's my
It's coming
guy.
up in business, Dagan.
That merger between American Airlines and U.S. Airways is now a go.
Oh, well, very exciting. Barney, what do you have with your briefing?
Mike Tyson, Jenna Jameson, Miley Cyrus, Bruce Jenner's face, and Kim Kardashian's butt.
Warner, what do you have in sports?
Well, it was a big one. Number 1, Kentucky loses to number 2, Michigan State. Number 4, Duke loses. That meeting with the owner of the Dolphins and Jonathan Martin, no, sir. And James Dolan, the owner of the Knicks, he has guaranteed that the Knicks will beat the Hawks tonight in Atlanta. I mean, why?
Oh, okay. So it's like the 9th game of the season.
Yes, 7th game, right.
Speaking of Jenna Jameson, before we get to the news and everything else, here with some thoughts on that is Dagan's sister, Megan McDowell. Morning, Megan.
Morning, sir. So I read where Jenna Jameson's coming back to pornography. Yeah, that's what skin flicks need. Another 40-year-old skank with inner tube lips and a rhesus monkey facelift, bumping uglies with some genetic mutant biker with an anaconda in his britches. This is the same woman who said she would never, ever spread her legs in the industry again. Yeah, well, I guess that's what happens when your house is in foreclosure and you have no other marketable skills. She says she's going back so she can feed her kids. I guess working at Hardee's was out of the question. But if that bill in California passes, is she going to have to wear them protective eyewear, the porn goggles? Because those are hot. Oh, yeah. 2 people going at it looking like they just came from hanging over a Bunsen burner in 8th grade science lab. Ooh, baby, sex with an arc welder. I'm moist. I suppose they're just trying to protect people from disease, but a woman who's famous for leaving none of her orifices unfilled ain't exactly all that hygiene conscious. I mean, you could get hepatitis C just from looking at some of these sluts. I suppose you can't be too careful, though. You know, when Otis and I made our sex tape, he had me wear a hazmat suit. Meanwhile, I done told him, you're the one what gave me the chlamydia in the first place.
Megan will be back with Deirdre Imus on Blonde on Blonde, but right now, at 9 minutes after the hour, it's time for the news. And here with that is Colin McShane, morning, Colin.
Morning, I'm in. Congressman Darrell Issa will take up the Obamacare website problems today. He's the chairman of a hearing on Capitol Hill, and it comes after former President Bill Clinton really stirred the pot yesterday, saying that President Obama should find a way to let people keep their existing coverage.
The commitment the federal government made to those people and let them keep what they got. I personally believe, even if it takes a change in the law, the president should honor the commitment the federal government made to those people and let them keep what they got.
There, keep what they got.
And of course, so why would they have the music?
I don't know. That was this website, the thing that interviewed him.
Anyway, James Carville was on with Megyn Kelly last night on Fox, and there was a spirited debate. And she's great. She didn't give an inch. But her question was that essentially, was President Clinton trying to provide some distance,
right?
Philosophically, I guess, and so on, between President Obama and, well, essentially his wife, who we all think is going to run for president. And Carville answered the question by saying it wasn't that many people who were affected. People lose their insurance every year, and but that wasn't her question.
Not the point at all.
And it wasn't the point at all. It was what that President Clinton threw President Obama under the bus.
Yes.
And but Carville wouldn't answer the question, even though Megyn did a first-class job of trying to get him to. But I tried to, whether he didn't understand it or
no,
I'm sure he did. If I did, he did. So.
Yeah, you knew.
Colin continues.
All right, President Obama's approval rating did hit another all-time low with 39% in the latest poll out yesterday from Quinnipiac.
Well, who thinks he's doing a good job?
Yeah, well,
other than Juan Williams.
He's coming up.
So, I mean, who thinks it? Do you know anybody? Have you met anybody? All of my friends who are all liberal weenies.
They've turned on him?
Well, yeah, not turned on him, but they don't think he's doing a good job. I think it's an embarrassment. So who are these people who think, oh, yeah, he's doing great?
There's always obviously going to be some base of people, but
Right.
39's pretty low at this point. Although Bush, I think, at this exact point was 37, but of course his second term was troubled also. So, but 39's low. Yeah, 39's low.
Yeah.
So there's not a lot of people.
Lower than the mayor of Toronto.
There you go. For example, that's good perspective on it, right?
Yeah.
Crack smoking mayor, he's above it.
That'll be fine.
Relief workers are trying to get some food, water, and medicine over to the Philippines after the typhoon on Friday. 2 more airports have opened up there, so U.S. military among the groups helping out. The president of the Philippines has now said the death toll may be closer to 2,500 people instead of the 10,000 number that had been thrown out there by in some reports, but still tough to know. And some big health-related news here, these new guidelines that have come out for how cholesterol is to be treated. The bottom line is twice as many Americans will be eligible for cholesterol-lowering statins. 15% have them today, headed up to 31% in these new guidelines, which will also get rid of the numerical targets for cholesterol levels, so you won't have to lower your levels to a specific target. Just take the right dose of the drugs will be sufficient under these new guidelines, which will affect a lot of people. So.
Many don't understand that what's crucial regarding cholesterol numbers is the relationship, the ratio between your HDL, your good cholesterol, and your total cholesterol. So, do you know what yours is? What's your total cholesterol?
I don't know it off the top of my head, but I remember last time the physical maybe a few months ago, and it was pretty good. I didn't have any problems with it.
So you have no idea?
No, I knew it was healthy.
Let's get Dr. Manny in here and take some measurements.
12 minutes after the hour. What's coming up in the business? Well, not what's coming up. Just here with the business news. Sponsored by Short Hills Aviation is Dagan McDowell. Morning, Dagan.
Good morning, sir. The futures are lower, down 37 points right now after the Dow lost just 32 points yesterday. And the merger of American Airlines and U.S. Airways is a go. The airlines reaching an antitrust settlement with the U.S. government to let that merger proceed. There are some concessions involved. The pair will reduce the combined number of daily departures at Reagan and National in D.C. and then LaGuardia here in New York, making room for some competition. However, the flying experience will not change because the next time you board a plane, I can guarantee that one person you're sitting next to looks just like my sister and can't put the armrest down.
It's 13 after the hour.
Can I use this?
I mean, here we are.
Stop, you're hurting me. Yay, that hurts my thigh. You can't put the armrest down.
Cholesterol.
Is that what you do?
Sometimes.
All right, let's do sports. Sponsored by Peerless Spoilers at 13 after the hour.
Are you digging McDowell? Hey.
You look smaller on the TV.
Yeah.
Is that Louis?
It doesn't sound Lou Rufino, yes. What about him?
I love little ones.
Yeah.
They get lost on me.
Yeah, I'll bet they do. All right, let's do sports. Good morning, Warner.
Good morning, Iman. Well, if you were Dolphins owner Stephen Ross and thought you were meeting with Jonathan Martin today,
What happened?
you lost.
Oh.
The NFL has stepped in. They will meet with Martin first here in New York on Friday. Could have been a case of a possible obstruction by Ross if Martin goes through with the lawsuit. College basketball last night. Number 2 Michigan State with freshman Andrew Wiggins beats number 1 Kentucky with Jabari Parker, the other fine freshman, 78-74. Now here was John Calipari, his pregame message for his team.
I told him at half, dudes, you're down 6 baskets. That's amazing. I said, you should be down 20, 22 points right now.
Well, that's during the halftime.
It sounds like my pep talk to Rob and Tony and Connell and Dagan every morning. So.
That's right.
What else?
Number 5 Kansas beat number 4 Duke. 94-83. Number 3 Louisville won by 28 points. How about this? For the first time in the history of professional sports, an owner has guaranteed a win. Knicks owner James Dolan playing with his blues band, J.D. and the Straight Shot, at a gig in Midtown following Sunday's 31-point loss to the Spurs, guaranteed to the crowd that the Knicks would beat the Hawks tonight.
Oh, thank God.
So we'll take a look and see what happens.
We invited them a long time ago to appear on the program with his band, but he wisely turned us down. Quarter after the hour. Well, I noticed that tickets went on sale yesterday for the 4th annual Imus at Night, which will be Thursday, December 5th at Mohegan Sun. And they sold a bunch of tickets, and the tickets will be gone. I'm probably by the end of the week. It's a night of comedy with Rob Bartlett and Tony Powell, and it's at Mohegan Sun in Uncasville, Connecticut. And we may have. Can I say?
No.
I can't say.
Just wait.
You already did yesterday.
But they forgot. Maybe.
They forgot.
Yeah, they forgot.
But we could have one of the I-Men's all-time favorite bands there. But we haven't nailed it down yet. Leslie hasn't. But so don't buy your tickets based on that. Buy your tickets based on Rob and Tony, and Delbert may or may not be there. It's a great one-night-only performance. Well, it depends on they can work it out, that's all. It's $125. All the money goes to the Imus Cattle Ranch for Kids with Cancer. So it's a great deal. Big cocktail hour and drinks, and get your hors d'oeuvres going on there now. And they have a block of rooms at the Mohegan Sun, so you can stay all night, because we're going to do the program the next morning from the Wolf Den. You can get tickets by going to WABCRadio.com or you can go to Imus.com, get your tickets. As I said, all the money goes to the ranch. 17 after the hour. What's coming up in your Bernie briefing, Bernard?
Oh, Mike Ditka, Mike Tyson, Jenna Jameson, Miley Cyrus. Lots of other stuff, boss.
Okay.
Yeah.
17 minutes now, still after the hour. Time stands still. Program. The Bloods are next. Megan McDowell and Felice and did Imus. But before that, time for a Bernie briefing with Bernard McGurk. And that's sponsored by My Pillow. And here with it is the aforementioned B. McGurk. Good morning, Mr. McGurk.
Morning, Mr. Imus. And the owner of the Miami Dolphins, he was scheduled to meet with the dude, Jonathan Martin, today, which was weird, however, because Martin might sue the Dolphins. The NFL said no, as Warner reported, boss. The NFL investigators are going to meet with Martin on Friday. Last night on Hannity, former football great Coach Mike Ditka said this about the whole thing.
Do I think this was a malicious intent? No. These are guys that, your brain has to go into gear before your mouth operates. And sometimes guys don't think before they do something. I thought it was a thoughtless act. I don't think there was anything racial meant by it or anything else. I don't care what was said or how it was said. I think these guys were friends, and I think they probably kibitz with each other quite a bit.
There's one point of view.
Just in a bar there?
Yes, he was in a bar.
Yeah.
Probably had a couple of pops. Sounded like it.
Yeah. Probably his own bar in Chicago.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And speaking of letting your brain do some thinking before you speak, Mike Tyson, he was on the View yesterday with Barbara Walters and the gals, and it sounded like he got a little snippy with Ms. Walters. Take a listen to this exchange.
In the book now, you write about that you've been clean and sober since 2010, so that's 3 years.
No, that's 90 days. I've been clean for 90 days. 90 days.
And the
but before I was, I go through this process. I'm clean for 5 years. Then I relapse, and I'm clean for another 4 or 5 years.
How do you know? Because in the postscript of the book, you write, and I'm going to read it, you say that you're a vicious addict, and you admit that you fell off the wagon a couple of times this year with alcohol, with pot, and so. How you doing?
I'm fine now.
Well, where are you at this point?
Well, I was explaining a few minutes ago, I'm 90 days clean.
90 days.
You just let me talk.
Yeah. Pay attention, Grandma.
I'll tell you. Don't make me let this get ugly right here.
I'll be loving the champ.
And Jimmy Fallon, he's in the New York Daily News this morning, boss. He's all pumped up, ready to go for his new show in February. He says he's not going to change much. They're going to do the same things, including playing games with celebrities, which is great news. Anyway, here is Fallon from last night during his monologue. Take a listen.
We love Tim Tebow. There's reports that Tebow may stop playing football altogether and look for work as a TV announcer. Most people heard that and they were like, well, you're already halfway there. This is very nice. I saw that over the weekend. The Kardashian family held a yard sale, and they donated all the money they made to charity. Yeah. People say the Kardashians' yard sale has a lot of good stuff out front, but a ton of junk in the back. And that's what
Yeah, I get that. And Conan O'Brien had a couple of funnies last night. You interested, boss?
Sure.
Here we go.
The Tesla car company is upset after George Clooney publicly badmouthed his Tesla. In fairness, Clooney said it's hard for him to stay excited about anything he rides for more than 6 weeks. During the European MTV Music Awards, Miley Cyrus went on stage and twerked with a dwarf. Yeah. It's a pretty sad day when you have to ask a dwarf how he could stoop so low.
I'm not a Clinton apologist, Obama apologist. Juan Williams. I fave the boy, he coming up next. Talk to him. And then, of course, tomorrow, we will have the Mensa meeting with Guns and Bernard, Alan Combs, and Deirdre Imus. And then on Friday, we'll talk sports. Vinny from Queens, starring Warner Wolf, Guns, Tony Powell, and Lou Rufino. But right now, it's time for Blonde on Blonde with Deirdre Imus, and then for Lee Wheel, Megan McDowell. First of all, good morning, Miss McDowell.
Morning. I thought this was Blonde on Blonde, not Blonde on Bleach.
No.
You got more roots than Alex Haney, honey.
Good morning, Miss Imus. How are you?
Good morning.
So,
at least I do all highlights. It looks like you just have the bottle poured on your head.
The collar and cuffs match. It's all that counts.
The tone is all wrong.
Oh, yeah. You want to talk about tone.
Anyway, I didn't have this as a topic, but it is something I'm interested in to see what you both think. Mm-hmm. There's a football coach who coaches kids 12 to 15 years of age, and as a reward for something, he decided to take him to Hooters.
Yeah.
And they fired him. Do you think they should have fired him? Start with you, Deirdre.
Yes, good. I'm glad. To Hooters?
Yes.
No. You know, I even asked Wyatt, because Wyatt is 15, and he was seeing the story when he came into the kitchen. It was on.
Yeah.
I said, would you ever want to, would you want to go to Hooters? He said, no. He had no interest.
He's
it's a
lying.
cheesy place. No, he would have told me.
All he ever talks about
why do you have
me
to,
anyway.
Why of all the places you're taking your team of boys, 12 to 15, and you take them to Hooters? What is that all about? And then it's all junk food there, by the way, too.
Oh, here we go.
Complete junk, all fried and refried, and I mean, there's not anything healthy even on the menu. So then they're, I mean, it's disgusting, and the whole image of Hooters, even the name Hooters, and that's where you're going to take these young boys.
So you're are you
okay? What if a coach or someone with Wyatt with school, that's what they did? They decided to take them to Hooters. You'd be okay with that?
I'd be fine with it.
No, bad judgment.
What do you think, Megan?
You want to motivate them boys? Take. Give them a fistful of ones and have at it. They'll be undefeated.
Yeah, I mean, that's all the kids of that age think about. I mean, and the place is open. It's open to the public, and you may not like the food, but they probably have yummy French fries, stuff like that. And,
I mean,
that's the reason why we go there. The food.
Yeah.
And by the way,
By the way, you won't be working there.
That'll
Speak
be
for
fine.
yourself, honey.
Well,
I wouldn't want to work there.
They're going to see a lot more skin on their peers at school. The way
It's different.
How's it different?
Because the girls, those women that work there, they're objectified on purpose. That's the whole motive there.
You make that sound like it's a problem.
It is in that context. I think it is.
All right, here's.
I mean, would we go to a Hooters? We've never been to one.
No, because you are what you eat, and he's a vegetable.
All right, 22 Tilly. All right, here is the topic number one, called Suck It In, Pig Blood. 2 women have brought a lawsuit against 2 lingerie companies because of their anti-cellulite shapewear that did not slim them down. And my observation is this, and it contains a question. The people fall for these scam advertising programs, like wrinkle creams and anti-aging things that don't work. Do they then have a right to sue the manufacturers? Start with you, Megan.
Well, first of all, shapewear, I have a shape. It's a sphere. Men like meat in their bones, honey, not some. You don't even have 3 dimensions, except for them, you know.
I think you can relate, though, to those.
By the way, are those saline implants? Because I know you're natural. Mine are silicone. You can fry an egg on these
and
puppies.
where
It
are
won't
yours?
stick.
I can't even tell, like, what's going on there between maybe your breasts and your stomach. And...
Oh, put a sock in it, nature girl. I got one of them pocket hose deals off of TV. I am a sucker for them scams. Pocket hose ain't what you think it is. I thought it was one of them things you could use when you're lonely, you know, like when Otis is working late at the mill. It's for the damn water sprinkler, man, for the lawn.
Well, I think Megan can definitely relate to these women that bought these, you know, Spanx type of or girdle type of clothing.
I wore Spanx.
And they didn't work.
They committed
because
suicide.
I don't think they would work on you.
Why?
I mean, that's a lot to hold in. It's
you just get them larger, that's all.
I know, but that is, yeah. That's,
Have you ever bought them?
Yes, I wear them. I have a pair of the Spanx brand on now.
Why would you need them?
Because it just keeps, every woman needs them. It just, especially if you dress on and it's form-fitting, it keeps the lines all, so you don't have all these, you know, like if you have your underwear on or anything, then you see all the lines.
What if you wear a thong?
It becomes more discreet then. It doesn't bring attention to that.
To your thong?
Right. Which, if you work at Hooters, I'm sure that's okay, but...
I wear one on my ass.
And with you, how do those
do they have a case? I guess.
No, they don't. I don't think that's ridiculous. I think that they're actually trying to sue for that, just like these wrinkle creams, to sue for that, because... Yeah, they can claim it does this and that, but it's not going to work. It's not a one-size-fits-all with all this
false
stuff.
advertising. It's like when you tell him I love you.
19 Julie. All right, topic number 2, Black Thursday. This year, Black Friday will extend to Thursday with Toys R Us and Target both opening on Thanksgiving Day. So this is a further commercialization of Christmas. Kinky Friedman once famously said, "We Jews believe it was Santa Claus what killed Jesus Christ." My question for both of you, start with you, Megan, is it a good idea to open on Thanksgiving Day?
No, because Thanksgiving is about eating.
Yeah.
Last year... Yeah, you would know.
How do you do it? How do you do it? I'm going to call social services because you're a victim of husband abuse.
Tell me about it.
I mean, really. You know why you get away with it all? Because you know he can't chase you. That's why. He gets out of breath grating cheese.
Why are you dragging him
shut
into
the hell up, Blondie.
You shut
Jesus,
up.
Palomino, I don't know how you do it. You're an effing saint, y'all.
Thank you.
Saint Imus.
Somebody finally realizes that.
Patron saint of vodka.
Is it a good idea,
Finally.
David, to open on Thanksgiving Day?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, you know, the saying, build it, people will come. I mean, they will come. I mean, you open on Thursday. You open on Thursday, any store, people are going to go.
Right.
You know, these convenient marts open for that reason.
I didn't ask you that. I said, is it a good idea to open on Thanksgiving Day?
Yeah, why not? Why not? On Thanksgiving Day, why not? You're going to have people lined up, fighting their way through. You're going to, see it on the news later that women have wrestled another woman to the ground for, one of the toys, or
and the husbands are home drunk watching football.
Exactly, and it gets the women out of the house. But then you wonder who is making the food anymore. But I'm sure, like you, they just eat all fast food or microwave food, so it doesn't matter to them anymore. You're definitely not eating your vegetables and your fruits.
Turkey.
What's wrong
Honey,
with
come
that?
to my house. Last year I lifted up my left breast. A whole turkey fell out, stuffed and everything. Lift up my right one. A Chilean miner was in there. Have us a Thanksgiving. You'll be saying thanks.
Megan McDowell and Deirdre Imus.
Very much.
All right, topic number 3. In her new book, Marianne Shaw, the book's entitled "What Will It Take to Make a Woman President?" Because there's so many other countries around the world have had women leaders. And my question for both of you is, what will it take in this country? Start with you, Deirdre.
I think more women interested in running for president, because how many can we name that have really been serious about wanting to be president, or even talk about wanting to be president?
Well, we have Hillary Clinton, Sarah Palin.
It. Palin, both of them, no way.
Oh, right.
No way. I'm not voting for either one of them.
There's already been women in the Oval Office, on the desk, under the desk, on the sofa.
I think Elizabeth Warren's talking about running, isn't she?
Yeah, a lot of people think she should. On the left,
Republicans are hoping she will.
Right.
She's not going to run.
To the left of Hillary.
Hillary Clinton, I'm telling you, you need a big pair to be president. She got one.
No.
She needs a jock strap. That girl's got one. She can sack up in a heartbeat.
I think it's kind of a Elizabeth Warren. I think that's just kind of made up right now, because Hillary's got nobody running against her. It kind of makes her look better if there's someone else or another woman from her party that's a contender. I'm not buying it. There's no way she's going to run.
What did you do to him?
What?
I swear to God, he used to be this strong, tough ranch hand. You turned him into Mammy Yokum.
Well, when he was 15?
Well, what do you mean when he's 15? He could have kicked your ass
When he
at one
lived on his
time.
ranch then?
What's that?
That was when he was probably 15 years old when he was on his ranch.
This always seemed like a good idea. Megan McDowell and Deirdre Imus here on Blonde and Blanche Manor.
Why do you always do that?
Here is another, here's topic number 4.
But can I just finish, though? I would like to see a woman president, but not just for the sake of saying we have a woman president.
Well, why would you then?
What?
What would be the point?
No, it would be great. It just, I feel like we named 3 people, Palin, Hillary Clinton, and possibly Elizabeth Warren. Where are all the women that are serious about running? Let's see them. That's what I'd like to see them. We just don't have any choices right now. There's no one really serious
That's
year
a fair
after
point,
year.
isn't it, Bernard?
Kardashian for president.
There you go.
How about that?
Yeah, right. I mean,
you know, it's women
Bernard. I mean,
you know, it's
that's
women
just
like
absurd.
you that make people think that Utah doctor Martin McNeil may have had a point.
Oh no.
What was that point?
Yeah, what was the point?
Kill your wife.
That's 14 till the hour.
You're just evil. You're just not nice. I could see why Dagan doesn't like you.
The founder of Lululemon, the athletic apparel company that caused a controversy 6 months ago, when it was revealed that women's behinds could be seen clearly through their yoga pants, making many people think that their bride had gotten a Willie Nelson tattoo. But the guy who runs Lululemon, he said, quite frankly, some
Abe Lincoln.
some look like Willie Nelson had Lyle Lovett in a headlock. So quite frankly, some women's bodies just actually don't work. It's about the rubbing through the thighs, how much pressure's there and so on. He's since apologized for that, but I'll start with you, Deirdre. He does have a point, doesn't he?
No, honey. He put his foot in his mouth. He shouldn't have said that.
But is it true?
But saying that, I think you could relate to that with rubbing thighs.
Hey, you want me at a campground? I can start a fire in a heartbeat.
Oh my God.
All my lady parts work just fine. I don't know what he's talking about at all.
Well, why do women who shouldn't wear them, I wonder?
I don't know. And this is the thing I think
you see it all the time.
Women
right?
could agree to. They've now become where they wear it with a little top to go to work, to go everywhere, and they're not working out in them, which is what they're made for, to exercise in.
Right.
I only wear my Lululemons when I'm working out. What about you?
Yeah,
You have them on right now, it looks like.
No, I got my Lululemons on my pinky. What do you think about it? I'm not a slave to fashion, okay?
Do you ever wear
Jesus Christ, look at the size of that rock. Holy God. What do you think about when you're making love to him? That little old Monopoly guy with the monocle and top hat?
You are so evil.
What's it like doing it with a piece of beef jerky? Tell me.
Keep coming. I see the jealousy.
Get out.
Gentlemen, Imus in the morning.
So last night, on Megyn Kelly's program, she had James Carville on. And as you perhaps know, I like Megyn Kelly. I think she's really good. She is good. And I think she's good. Sometimes people are good, and I don't think they're good. She's great. And she and Carville, and he can be tough. But she went toe-to-toe with him in a very she's so good. She goes in, she's very respectful. She doesn't lose her temper or poise or anything. And he was fine. He's not going to be disrespectful to her. But did you happen to see it?
I did not see it.
Did you see it, Bernie?
I saw the second half of it, yes.
She was good, wasn't she?
Fantastic.
And a lot of people would not have been good. It would have developed into a screaming match, and we don't expect to need. This is going to be a positive segment, so we don't need to start naming people who would have been screaming at Carville.
No,
and it would have degenerated into a mess. Let's stick.
Yeah.
To our positive observations of the journalistic chops of Miss Kelly, and not demean other people on the network.
Half full.
Not necessary.
Yeah, exactly.
So there was plenty of people at CNN and MSNBC to attack. Mm-hmm. By the way, did you know Fox, their ratings were twice, Fox's ratings were twice what the combined ratings of CNN and MSNBC were. Did you know that? Mm-hmm. Has that ever happened before?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yes, it happens often.
It does?
Yeah, oh yeah.
You had the two of them.
Anyway, so Megan's question to Carville was the significance of President Clinton throwing President Obama under the bus, suggesting that he should make it right with the people who lost their insurance. Mm-hmm. And what the significance being, the Clintons trying to put some distance between themselves and President Obama for 2016. That's clearly what she meant. And Carville answered the question by saying, it's not that many people who lose their insurance. Then he also said, people lose their insurance every year. Yeah. Well, that wasn't the question she asked at all. And, of course, he knew that.
Trying to change the subject.
But she didn't lose her temper and start screaming at him, as I would ever, well, I wouldn't scream at Carville, but so they never got anywhere. But that is the question.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what Clinton did, and there's nobody smarter at playing this game than Bill Clinton. I mean, are you kidding me?
And you know he hates Barack Obama for playing the race card.
Exactly.
Everybody knows that.
Yes. So, and well, he should.
And he's probably just he couldn't be happier at this disastrous rollout right now. And
thrilled to death.
No doubt.
He's just sorry they're not taking his insurance.
So he can hold up a piece of pie. Look, mine was canceled too.
So he can scream about that.
Yeah.
So Juan Williams, fave, he's coming up.
I was trying to get a vasectomy, but I couldn't do it.
And Juan will be trying to make every excuse in the book for President Obama, and it's not going to work.
Oh, yeah.
I did get that penicillin shot, though.
I thought the blah was pretty good. The timing was a little off, but you guys have never worked together before, but you were funny. No, that did was good.
Megan's hilarious.
Very funny.
Very good.
Thank you.
You've been great this morning.
Thank you very much.
You're quite welcome.
It's hot, too.
What's coming up in what's coming up in business? Somebody does think. Here's what's interesting. Mm-hmm. Somebody does think you're hot.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. A lot of people.
Okay. Anyway, here's Dagan.
Hot like an electric blanket hot? Like if she fell on them, it would be hot, maybe?
No, I think there are men out there who think she's attractive.
That's right.
Hey,
You're blind.
just watch. Here comes Honey Boo Boo.
Hard of hearing.
Yeah.
Cannot lie.
That's so hurtful, son.
Hey, what's coming up? Starbucks is going to have to pay a couple of $1 billion to Kraft for pulling out of a deal early. I'll have more details on it.
Was that the yogurt deal?
No, it's not yogurt. It's coffee.
Oh, really?
Megan's making faces at me.
I seen that. How does Thanksgiving? You guys all get together or no?
No.
Why?
Because her husband tried to fill me up a couple years ago.
Is that right, Reagan? Is that Reagan?
No, she was trying to shove food down her pants, and he was just trying to retrieve it so there'd be some left for the rest
That's
of us.
flirting in my book.
That's the only way that you can get a man to go in your pants is by shoving hot dogs down there.
No, honey, I'm sorry. I actually have men fighting over me.
All right.
You do?
Not fighting on me. You know what I'm saying?
What's coming up in the briefing, Bernie?
Dancing with the Stars controversy. Sarah Palin says Governor Christie's too fat, and more. Mike Tyson.
Sarah Palin's an idiot. Anyway, Warner, well, in sports?
In sports, forget that meeting with the Dolphins owner and Jonathan Martin.
Well, what happened?
NFL jumped in and said, wait a minute, not so fast,
Oops.
owner. We'll talk with him first.
That's right.
And Michigan State, you had the battle of the two freshmen, maybe the best two in the country, and Michigan State beats #1 Kentucky.
Wiggins is from Kansas, or from someplace.
Wiggins is from Michigan State.
Michigan
Right.
State.
Kansas.
Somewhere.
Kansas.
Andrew
Kansas.
Wiggins plays for Kansas, yeah.
Yeah. And
Jabari
Parker.
Jabari what?
Duke.
Yeah.
They played each other, and Kansas
right.
won?
Kansas beat Duke.
Okay.
Yeah. So you had #4 Duke and #1 Kentucky losing.
Where did Jabari go to high school?
He's from Chicago.
Okay, and how about Mr. Wiggins?
He's from Canada.
Yeah.
Okay. So.
He's big there. He's supposed to be the first and second pick in the draft. That's
Yeah.
what everybody thinks.
So they're comparing, Wiggins maybe with Wilt Chamberlain.
Really?
Yeah. Because, I mean, it's kind of early.
Now, is this going to be a one-and-done deal with these guys?
I bet right now.
Chicago thing?
they're already saying, well, who's good? Let me out of here.
Oh.
Yeah. Gone.
What about their degree?
Oh, man.
Degree. They always say, we'll get that later after we come back.
Lou Rufino's here this morning, Tony Powell and everybody. So time now to do a little news. And with that, Colin McShane. Morning, Colin.
Hey, good morning, Iman. Well, the Whitey Bulger sentencing hearing is going to get underway today. The guilty of 11 murders, 31 racketeering counts, the Boston mobster. So
how old is he?
84. And
man.
Wouldn't take a genius to figure out that he'll most likely spend the rest of his life in prison after all of this.
Free Whitey.
I guess the one interesting thing about it is the judge has this request that they're considering to let all the families speak, even the ones of the alleged crimes in which he was not found guilty. So everybody might be able to speak at the sentencing hearing, which would be rare.
To say what?
Just to say their piece, to say, sometimes they let, how they let people speak at these things, but usually not if you weren't involved in the crimes he was convicted of. There's a couple of World Trade Center stories here to talk about from New York. I mean, one to follow up on yesterday, that ruling came in, and One World Trade was declared tallest building in the country by this group of architects. Remember, there was a debate over the needle on the top of the building, which is more than 400 feet high. They ended up counting it, so it's taller than the Willis Tower.
Who counted it?
In Chicago. There's a group of architects who was ruling on this. And they had a committee, and they said, well,
fair and square.
Should it be counted just at the top of the building or the needle at the top, which is 408 feet high? If you count that, the whole building is 1,776 feet high, 1776. They did. It's taller. And, these people in Chicago are not happy.
We're here the day that they decide that it's not the tallest building.
It's games they play, it seems, with these towers. Sometimes they're included, sometimes they're not.
Leave it to New Yorkers to, try to one-up when it's really not that good.
Oh,
Hey,
come on here.
It's a symbol of what happened on
right.
9/11. You sore losers.
Yeah.
Chicago.
Shut up.
Shut up.
Yeah, shut
Get
up.
over yourself.
Root for the Cubs to win their first World
Chicago's
Series
a
since
dreadful hick town anyway.
1400s
Really?
or whenever it was.
Jesus, God.
Double check.
The other thing's 4 World Trade opens today, which, by the way, is the first skyscraper to open up at the Trade Center site since 9/11. So that's opening today.
Of course, just yesterday I was saying they shouldn't count the needle.
Yeah, of course. I didn't want to mention
But
that.
but
now that they did.
But I now, because it is, because of what it's a symbol for,
On second thought.
I now have changed my mind.
Right.
Right.
13 after, almost 14 after the hour.
New York.
Got this.
Why are you talking when I'm talking?
I apologize for that.
Okay, what do you want? Are you doing the news?
What do I want? Yeah, well, that was what I was going to.
Do you have any more news stories?
Yes, that's what I was going to keep doing. Alec Baldwin. You hear about this trial? He's been.
Why does here's the thing about Alec Baldwin, who I don't know, but I have to confess, I've always sort of liked him. I don't know. I'm not sure why, but whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Why is he's always in some jam?
Well,
what is it now?
So there's this woman who's accused of stalking him, this Canadian actress, and he was up testifying at the trial yesterday.
Yeah.
And as Bernie mentioned a few minutes ago, he actually cried, right, Bernie, on the stand?
Yeah, he did. He cried when he was describing the day that the stalker showed up at his house when he proposed to his current wife.
Oh. So it's this Canadian woman named Genevieve Saborin. This woman is like, she... Go ahead, Bernie.
Who Alec Baldwin says was a mistress of the producer Marty Bregman, who's in a wheelchair. Marty Bregman says that Alec Baldwin's a liar. He was hosing her, according to Marty Bregman. He says he'll never talk to Baldwin again.
And Marty's like in his upper 80s, I think.
He's in a wheelchair.
Yeah, and that.
Wow.
He says he's throwing me under the bus to save his own butt.
Which woman are they talking about? The stalker?
Yep.
Yes.
Marty was hosing her?
Well, she worked on the set of some of his movies.
Oh, okay.
And he says, no, I never did that. He said,
Well, what does she look like? She's not horrible. I see her on the Fox Business Network now.
Blonde hair, yeah.
She's all right.
No, she's okay.
She got up in
She's
court.
fine.
She got up in court yesterday and screamed at Alec Baldwin, "You're a liar!" And she screamed at his wife in court when the wife was testifying, "You're going to hell, Hilaria."
Oh, wow.
That's not good.
And then she was outside the court identifying scars near his private parts, Alec Baldwin, to prove that she had had sex with him.
How do you like that?
It's very ugly.
Hey, you know what somebody told me?
What?
That when they censor me on Fox, you know, if you have the closed caption, somebody had that. I don't know whether that's automated. Is that automated? Or?
I think so.
Yeah. That they you can still read what I say.
Oh.
Huh. They just beep out the audio part. Dopes.
That's kind of funny.
They beep out because apparently Kevin doesn't like titty bar.
Oh.
And he told me yesterday he didn't like a couple things, which I agreed with. I agree with almost everything. It's their television network. And why would I? I mean, it's not. I have no point to make. And he was right. But do you?
No, I work at one.
Well, where are we going to go, Jerry?
So, I mean, if he was saying something...
Chernoff used to complain about the same thing.
He did?
The same word, yeah.
He complained about a lot of words.
No, he can't. He can't do it. No. It's just not. It's illegal.
Don't say ass. You know, look at him, but don't say it.
You have to hit the button if he says it.
I'll tell you what, I love Chernoff.
And if he says it, come tell
Absolutely.
me.
I still like Chernoff.
A lot of integrity right there.
He's the operations manager at WFAN. Mm-hmm. One of the real quality people on the planet. So he's a good man. So. And
love Mark.
I'll tell him when I see him at the T-bar tonight.
You know.
I said T-bar.
But he didn't want...
No. Bernie, is he still saying it?
I'm the only one with a pair of them on this set other than Carly, and I have no problem with it. I think it's hilarious.
Thanks, Dakin, for that
Yeah,
endorsement.
Well, if they don't want us to
Since
do
I'm
it, that's fine with me.
Since I'm the jug carrying skirt in the room, I get to say it.
I don't have a big problem. I don't have any problem.
Talk to Kevin about that one later.
17 after the hour, Juan Williams is coming up.
Megan would say that's debatable.
Shouldn't we do sports now?
Let's business.
Go. We haven't done business yet? We're getting way behind here.
It'll take me 30 seconds.
All right, here with business news, sponsored by Short Hills Aviation, is Dagan McDowell. Morning, Dagan.
Good morning, sir. It is go time. Futures are lower by 90 points, and Starbucks has to pay Kraft $2.7 billion. Starbucks pulled out early from a distribution deal over its bagged coffee, which Kraft was distributing to grocery stores and retailers. They've been fighting about it for 3 years. This is a ruling by an arbitrator. The money goes to Mondelez, which used to be part of Kraft. That is it.
All right, time now for sports. And sports is sponsored by Peerless Boilers. Got 18 after the hour, and here with that is the great Warner Wolf. Morning, Warner.
Thank you. Good morning, Iron Man. Not so fast. Dolphins owner Stephen Ross. The NFL has jumped in, said we will meet with Jonathan Martin first here in New York on Friday. College basketball last night, the battle of the two, maybe the best freshmen in the country. Andrew Wiggins in Kansas beats Duke and Jabari Parker. 94-83. What happened? They broke a 79-79 tie with a 15-4 run. And number 2, Michigan State beats Kentucky 78-74. But here was an encouraging John Calipari, his pregame message to his Kentucky team.
We have Michigan State. How are we going to beat a team that's been together, that's going to execute, that's going to play like they're going to the electric chair, and you got freshmen trying to... Yeah, there's no way.
That's the spirit. And he was right. Defending champion number 3, Louisville beats Hofstra. Hey, shut up, says unbeaten Ohio State coach Urban Meyer. Buckeye wide receiver Evan Spencer said that Ohio State would wipe the field with both Alabama and Florida State.
You know, we've just been visited by our TV boss. We haven't seen him in a long time, Kevin McGee.
Hey, all right. Mr. McGee, baby.
We love Kevin, so.
Right.
Oh, yeah. He's a great boss, isn't he?
Absolutely, it's terrific.
And like Borneman was great. He's Borneman good. So. What were you saying, Warren?
I wonder where he's coming from.
No.
Kevin McGee. So anyway,
you don't want her the trouble.
Here's
I don't know. Maybe the salad bar.
That's right. All right, Jerry. So anyway, Urban Meyer, his wide receiver, Evan Spencer, said that Ohio State would wipe the field with both Alabama and Florida State. So Meyer says Evan Spencer will not be talking to the media for a long, long time. And Spencer, by the way, in a lame excuse, said, "I did not mean to disrespect anybody." What else is it?
Really?
And don't bite the hand that feeds you. The Houston Texans have released veteran safety man Ed Reed. What did Reed do? Well, he complained about not starting, and then after Sunday's loss to the Cardinals, he publicly said the Texans were outplayed and Wade Phillips was outcoached in their first game without Gary Kubiak.
Well, could be.
So, yeah, could be, but so long, Ed Reed.
Hey, Warner, where are we with the A-Rod thing?
They starts Monday, the 18th, and it'll go a week. Hopefully, it'll end in a week, and then the arbitrator, Frederick Horowitz, will decide. But they say he could take a month to decide. So we're not going to know till December.
And what is A-Rod looking to do?
Oh, well, number one, best scenario, he wants to wipe out the entire suspension, 211 games.
That's not going to happen.
No. I would think that Horowitz is going to go right down the middle and say, okay, you're not exonerated completely, but it's going to be 162 games, one season.
Oh.
I think that's what it'll be.
All right. Okay, and will that allow Joe Tacopina to claim victory?
Well, yes, because the upside for Major League Baseball was 211 games.
Right.
He'd be saving A-Rod about, $30 million, sure.
Well, he hasn't got Joe's bill yet.
That's right. Minus, right.
A friend of mine doesn't like Tacopina. They said, well, Tacopina will do and say anything. I said, yes.
Duh.
And so... All right, well, we'll see what happens.
Yes.
See what happens, like Bernie's saying. Bernie, what's coming up in the briefing?
More of the Toronto mayor, Dancing with the Stars, and more crazy Mike Tyson coming up.
Okay, one of my favorite songs. Go find out.
What happened?
Well, they're not what?
Wait a second here.
Pardon me?
They're not going to, I know what's going to happen. I'm going to go over to Starbucks, and they're going to be confused. They're not going to give you an answer that you want. Somebody screwed up.
And they're going to have so much bad publicity that somebody at Starbucks will say it's not worth it.
Oh, man, what happened?
I know. So really
so
what we
go
should...
straighten it out, please.
Okay.
I'm begging you.
All right, fine.
This will be a test of your ability to get things done.
So what, do you want them to give you money back? I don't know what you're looking for here.
I want them to take my reward, restore my balance to $69.92.
$69.92, right.
Okay.
All right, we're gonna
and find out why they deducted whatever they deducted from it.
I'll see what I can do.
Over $6.
Oh, man.
Okay.
Did you just buy coffee?
Yeah, and it's only $3.50.
Go find out what happened, because they made a mistake, and you need to assert yourself. Aren't you? You're working to be a producer, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is an opportunity for you to solve a problem.
Going to Starbucks and asking them a crazy question.
It's not a crazy.
Wait a second.
Is a way for me to become a producer?
How is it a crazy question Go, now you're being a wise ass. Go get it done.
Okay, sure, I will.
Go
I
fix
promise.
it.
Aren't we back on here soon?
No, not yet.
What?
Oh, do we have a few more seconds left of the spot?
Hold on. 1, 2, 3. Now we're back.
Okay, I'm in. All you.
I'm trying to help her.
31 after the hour.
Coming up, Juan Williams.
Maybe, Tony, you should go over with her.
What happened, right? Yeah, I'll be locked up. I'll be the one laying face down on the pavement with a chalk outline because I tried to get your coffee worked out. Yes, okay.
Carl, you come back smiling.
It is the time for a Bernie briefing.
Tony took care of
and
it.
that's security. Well, you can't allow these.
Call the police.
I'm absolutely right. You can't allow these retail outfits to rip you off, can you?
Got to stand up for yourself.
Well, what do you want her to do?
We have no
Go in there
idea.
and scream?
It comes and goes. You know what? I'm sure that you've gotten the benefit of the doubt, and they have undercharged you previously. It's just karma.
That place is a loony bin. It's
Starbucks?
Starbucks.
I'm not suggesting she go over and scream.
Check mine.
I'm suggesting she go over and point out to them what happened, and if they don't fix it, there's nothing she can do about it. But at least go get that answer, so then that I can. Then I'll take it. Then I'll deal with it.
Or Tony will.
Right.
So,
I will go with.
but this is a good experience for her to learn how to because people are afraid to confront people, and she has to go over and say, "Look, you son of a." No, well, maybe
Well,
not
that's-
that.
There
but-
you go.
Anyway, do you have a briefing, Bernie?
I do, yes.
You shouldn't do this.
I don't know. Carly's having a tough time of it over there, it looks like. It's not right.
She has to go in there 18 times a day.
I know.
And you've got to pick your battles. Is it worth fighting over? No.
Making fun of her fiance.
Of course it is.
No, it's not.
They charged us over $6.
Us?
Yeah, but
for-
she's got to go down there and
Right.
deal with the ugliness. I mean, you just sit here and just tell her to
course.
go. I mean,
Well, how should I? Hey, well, Carly, wait a minute. Well, how should we deal with this?
Let it go.
I'm not
Right.
going to let it go.
All right, what's
You
the
can't let stuff like that go.
You- then at 10
You want to
o'clock-
go with her?
I'll go with her. Yeah, I'll go
Okay,
with her.
Tony's going to go with her.
And we'll see what happens.
There you
Okay,
go.
Tony-
We'll come back and report what happens.
Okay, Tony's
if
gonna
I'm
go
not
with
shot
Carly.
or laid out on the pavement.
Well, no, don't get ugly with them. Just be respectful.
Bring a camera crew.
Huh?
Why don't you take at least my iPhone? You can tape part of it.
I'll videotape it on my phone.
I got bail money, Tony. Don't
Got
worry.
your phone.
All right.
Okay, you guys go to Starbucks.
Call Takapina.
Tell them I want my money back, and see what, and then come back and report.
This will be great.
All right, time for a briefing now.
Fantastic.
Good morning, Bernard.
Money Boss, in addition to the Alec Baldwin ugliness, which is very juicy, there's also a story in the New York tabloids this morning about a Manhattan architect, 53-year-old guy. He's filed an over $1 million defamation lawsuit against a 50-year-old female Cornell University professor of philosophy. Apparently, he had an affair with her. It ended, and she went online and she said he had a tiny STD-infested wiener. Among other things, she said he was just a pervert and a weirdo about rape play, forced orgasm, spanking, whipping, paddling, flogging, strap-on play, wax play.
Well, we
blah,
don't
blah.
need to hear all this.
And then she went out.
How much more?
She went out to attack his wife and disabled son. But check it out in the paper this morning. If you think your life is miserable, you'll enjoy this. And also, Mike Tyson was on with the ladies with The View, and it got a little awkward. Here's Jenny McCarthy to Mike Tyson. Take a listen.
And you talked about how you slept with so many prostitutes and strippers that at one point you thought you were infected with AIDS, and you actually told your second wife that. Why didn't you stop that behavior?
Because it felt good. It really felt good.
You gotta love Iron Mike, man. I don't think the last chapter's been
Why
written.
was Joe Scarborough sitting there? Please welcome to the Amazon program. I say Juan Williams from Fox News. Good morning, Mr. Williams.
Good morning, man.
When are you going to be on the 5 next?
And it's very late. So,
I don't know. I'm not sure.
When are you going to be on the Brett Bear next?
Tonight.
Okay, I want you to go on Brett Bear tonight, and I want you to announce that you are calling on President Obama to resign.
And why would that be?
Because it's a disaster.
Yeah, well, that last part's true.
Oh, man. So last night I was watching Megyn Kelly, who I think is fabulous as a journalist.
Right.
And she went toe-to-toe with James Carville. And I'm not trying to patronize Megyn Kelly. She doesn't need that. But did you happen to see it?
No, I did not.
She was outstanding. Now, he was respectful with her. He's not a creep. He's a nice guy. He's a great guy, in fact. And her question of Mr. Carville was the following. I'll paraphrase it. That when Bill Clinton called for President Obama to make good these people who lost their insurance, that he was trying to establish a philosophical and political difference, and distance between him, his wife, and President Obama. And in asking that question, that's what Megyn Kelly meant. And Carville answered the question by saying, well, there's not that many people involved. And people, as Carville pointed out, lose their insurance every year. But that's not the question she asked. So let me ask you the question. What did you make of President Clinton saying that?
I guess I took him at face value. I'm thinking about what you've just said, because you put a political view on it, which is to say creating distance. That's what Megyn Kelly was after.
Yes.
And I think that, given what the Clintons' history on health care, I don't think there's much distance that he can possibly create politically. He can create distance from Obama, the person, who's obviously had trouble with the Clintons in the past, but they've made up to some extent. But he can try to create some distance in anticipation, if this thing really does collapse in toto, that he can then say, well, you know what, I said he should make good on the promise, and I created some distance. But I think that you are being extremely Machiavellian this morning to go that far. I mean, on the face value of it, he simply said the president should make good on his promise.
The smartest political person who's in this country in my lifetime is Bill Clinton.
Yep.
And he's never said anything in his life, including it depends on what is. That he didn't think about, and he didn't know exactly what he was saying. So I think Megyn was I don't think she was being Machiavellian. I think she was absolutely right, and I think he threw President Obama, your guy, under the bus. And you're under there with him, by the way.
Well, let me just tell you, I am amazed at how that Obama felt the need to apologize, and that now you have Bill Clinton coming out and saying, if the perception is such, especially among people who are opponents of Obamacare, that Clinton is running away and throwing Obama under the bus, because I just think it's so obvious that the status quo with health care in the country is not good, and that it's too costly. It bankrupts small business. It hurts big business. It hurts families. Americans struggle to pay medical bills, and yet somehow, at the moment, everything is about this computer, as if, that's the evidence that this system just is terrible and we should just go back to the status quo.
Do you know what he's done, the president has done?
What?
And by the way, I'm not one of those people who does not like President Obama. I do like him.
Yeah.
And I didn't vote for him, but I wish him well and the country well. But he's made it worse.
He's made the country worse?
He's made and he's made the health care system in this country, which, as you accurately pointed out, was already a disaster. He's made it worse.
I don't know that he's made it worse, but let me just ask you something. Is Wall Street better today?
I don't know.
Oh, you don't know? Well, you should check out the papers, because maybe you should check out your pension plans and your investments, because guess what? You're doing much better than you were 5 or 6 years ago.
I am?
When the President Obama showed up.
Well, congratulations to President Obama on that one.
Well, okay, and how about wars? How about United States at war in Iraq and Afghanistan? Are we still there, Iman?
Well, we're in Afghanistan.
Well, I'm just saying, are we leaving?
Well, I don't know.
Oh, well, yes, we are. Oh, how about the guy that did 9/11? Is he still around?
Well, don't be putting me on the defensive by asking me a bunch of...
Wait a minute. You said the country, that was a pretty strong indictment.
Yeah, but you're asking...
The country is worse off according to the I-Man.
You're asking me a bunch of questions. 1, I can't answer. And 2, make me look bad.
No.
And
look,
3, make me look like an idiot. I don't need that. No. It's my program. You're supposed to... That's not what you're supposed to do, is it?
No, wait a second. Wait a second. Yeah. You mean you can poke me in the eye, but I can't say anything about it?
That's right.
Yes.
Oh, I got it.
All right, let me ask you this now.
Yeah. This is like, what did they say? Was it Audrey Hepburn who had to dance backward in high heels?
Yes.
I see.
So I say, to digressing here dramatically.
Yes.
I have a Starbucks app on my phone.
Cool.
And I send Carly over to Starbucks 2 or 3 times a morning to get me coffee. I drink black coffee with 2 shots of espresso in it.
Wow.
And I drink it all morning.
You're kidding.
No. And if you buy enough of it, you get these rewards where every once in a while you accumulate enough Starbucks stars, you get a free drink. So I had an award, they call it an award. I had an award available.
Right.
So I sent her over, and I checked the balance on my phone. I said, exercise my award. In other words, go get me a cup of coffee and use my reward to pay for it.
Right.
And my balance was $69.92. So she goes over and gets the coffee, tells them to utilize my award. She gets back. I checked the balance at $63.33.
Wow.
So they not only, and the reward is still there. So they not only did not use that, they charged me twice as much for the coffee.
I was going to say, that's an expensive cup of coffee.
So I sent her back and sent Tony Powell with her for them to rectify this.
Yeah.
And Dagan says to me that I ought to just let it go. What say you? As Bill O'Reilly would say.
No, they ripped you off.
Yes, thank you.
But maybe Dagan is like, I-Man is a busy man, and this is a small amount of money. What's the matter? But, just on principle, it's not right.
Of course. And I told Carly, who wants to be a producer, already does some producing stuff here and is very good and very smart. I said, this is an opportunity for you to prove that you can solve a problem. Huh. And she thought it was stupid for me to have her solve a problem in Starbucks. She said, what does it have to do with producing it? But it has a lot to do with it.
Oh, well, let me just tell you, I say that to everybody. I say it to myself first and foremost, that I think if you take care of the little things, the big things will come along.
Thank you, Mr. Williams.
Yeah. All right, Juan.
Yeah.
So, well, I'd like to apologize for you making me look like an idiot.
No.
But that's okay.
But let me just ask you, you mean you can take that much caffeine without getting jittery?
Yeah.
Wow.
Tolerance.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Nerves of steel.
It's great for us.
It's great for you guys.
Yeah.
Well, I love Brent Baer. I love that show.
It's a good show, isn't it?
Oh, it's a great show, except when George Will's on. I don't like him. But
why don't you like him?
Oh, he's a creep. But I like you guys.
Well, you're sweet.
I love Krauthammer and you and that guy in Wall Street Journal. He's good. And that woman they have on, she's good. So
yeah.
I'll watch you tonight.
Thank you.
All right, man.
We'll be there. Thanks.
Juan Williams will be with Brett Baer tonight. Special report, 6 p.m. Eastern Time on the Fox News Channel.